to be back on the bus, wrecking some doney holes with the lads.
All right, what's going on? Tom Butler here, CD 92.9. You can catch me weeknights from 7 to midnight. I'm sitting here at Wonderbus Music and Arts Festival with my buddies in the Band Camino. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm doing all right. The obvious complaint is the weather, the heat, and I keep swearing to myself I'm going to stop talking about it. But to the kids listening at home, it's a hot one.
It's hot. It's very warm.
It is sweltering today.
Sweltering. Confirmed.
So we were just talking about this. This is your guys' third show back from the pandemic.
Third show back.
How's it feeling so far?
It feels pretty insane. We did a run last weekend. We did 2 college shows. We played at UT Knoxville and Virginia Tech, and it was insanity. It felt so good to be back. 18 months of not playing a show, working on an album. So the third show back, kind of getting to feel like what the new songs are feeling like live. We put out a bunch of songs over quarantine, singles from the album. Album comes out in 2 weeks. So getting to play some new songs, kind of feel them out, see what it's all about, and getting to be in front of people again. Seems like the energy is just insane all around from us. I mean, people on stage and people watching shows. It's just like smiles all around.
I feel like there's a good symbiosis right now. Like bands are just really psyched to be playing, and people are just really psyched to be seeing live music, you know?
Psyched.
Yeah, psyched.
Thanks for handing me the mic. I mean, I just want to give everyone an ample opportunity to explain how.
I'll reach in when I need it.
I can also pass it along. Or I can just hold it.
So a lot of exciting stuff going on. You guys, your record comes out in 2 weeks on the 10th.
2 weeks on the 10th. 2 weeks from yesterday.
And you guys have been a band for, since 2015 or so?
2015. We started the band in Memphis, moved to Nashville in 2018 on the hunt for a drummer. Met Garrison like a month after we moved. And at the same time, we had just started working with our manager, who's here today, over there, Jameson, beginning of that year. Started working with our producer around the same time. So like meeting Garrison, Jameson, our producer Jordan, who did this album and like the last EP. It kind of all came together 2018. I feel like we really kind of settled into like what we were becoming slowly but surely. So yes, 6 years later, here we are about to put out that debut album. Had to take some time off, but
how's that feel? Like you've got a couple EPs out there in the world, but having that first record.
Insane. I mean, we've been obviously waiting to do this for so long, and like quarantine was horrible for everybody, but it did give us time to like really, like we had nothing to do, and we would have like kind of had to base recording around shows, and like we were able to write so many more songs, and we took a whole month and went into a studio and lived at the studio in El Paso in the desert, and like really like rode a wave and like hit out and made a record kind of the old school way. So I mean, really excited. We've been listening to these songs for like over a year now, like making them. So
like ready to have them out in the world.
Just ready. Even getting to play them live last weekend for the first time ever, like Roses and Know It All, One Last Cigarette, the songs that are already out. Like we hadn't gotten to see any live reaction or like, and just getting that like, I don't know. It was very affirming that like, hopefully people are gonna like the new record, because they were singing every word of all the new songs just as much as the stuff that we've been playing for years. So it was
awesome. I read too that you guys were able to take the time to just spend a song a day. I had read.
Yeah.
And just being able to focus like that and have that time. Yeah, I can't imagine that you would have necessarily been able to do it all like that if you're having to do shows here and there and tour here and there.
Yeah, in the past it's been very kind of like, I don't know, just kind of disconjointed, like with like our producer is like really busy and we're really busy, and it's like, oh, we can get in these 3 days and we're gonna do bass and drums, and then like next week, oh, we have this day, and then in 2 weeks we have this day, and it's just like you lose so much momentum, and you lose so much, like you like come back and you're listening to the song and you're like, where were we? And you had to like put a pin in it.
That same day magic.
Yeah, you have to put a pin in it before you're actually ready to like that. So it was like a very cohesive.
Yeah. It definitely gives you like the way we did it for this record didn't allow us to hate the parts we played 2 weeks later. You know what I'm saying? Like every once when we're in Nashville cutting, like, we'll get a rough back and I'll be like, but it's like too late because it's all torn down and now we got to play guitars or whatever. It's like it gave us that time to tweak things we wanted to tweak. If I wanted to play more drums on it, I could, because it was set up the entire time. Like, same for guitar cabs. I mean, we had 40 days to just see what happens on every single song and give it the attention it needs and the details.
Way less time to second guess yourself.
Yeah.
It was the perfect amount of time to have the opportunity to be creative and go down that hole, but there was no wasted time. Like, every day was packed to the brim, and we used every second of the days. But it was fun, and we needed it that way.
I keep saying, in reference to the great Charlie Watts, who we lost, Charlie always played exactly what needed to be played. It wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. So it sounds like you guys had the perfect amount of time. It wasn't too much, but it wasn't too little.
Yeah, if you have too much time, you definitely start like, oh, should we re-record this? Is this good enough? And like,
The Goldilocks.
instead of just rolling with it and like trusting your gut and just rolling with like a take that you knew that, like, when you played a take and you're like, that's it, just sticking with that feeling that you had, instead of being like, oh, could you do it better? Should I do that guitar one more time? Or like,
Yeah.
and plus having it all set up, the album's all over the place. Rock songs, like more poppy songs, more trippy songs, slow stuff. It's all over the place. And it kind of gave us like, I don't know, like all the drums were set up and none of the mics were touched and nothing was moved the whole month.
As far as the record goes, there are a lot of moods, genres, whatever.
Eclectic. For as eclectic as it is, it still sounds cohesive.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear the whole thing in one chunk, you know?
I cannot wait. I can't imagine
very
it's going to
exciting.
be out on in
So you guys,
2 weeks.
before the record comes out, you guys head out on the road the day before, huh?
day before.
Greenville, let's go.
South Carolina.
With Dan and Shay. We have 40 arena shows with them this fall. The first show is the 9th. The album comes out the 10th, so the album will come out that night at like midnight. So we'll play our first arena show opening for them, get off stage, the album will drop like 2 hours later. It's gonna be
a busy day.
it's gonna be a crazy way to start the tour, and then, insane.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for sitting down and hanging out with me and chatting
Thanks
about
for
music.
talking to us. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
guys so much. Thanks for the support.
Oh,
Stoked
yeah.
to be here. Stoked to play a show.
One last cigarette sounds awesome. I do have one last question. Do you still have that one last cigarette? Can I bum it?
Do we?
I'm
No.
sure with the two members we have.
No.
Unfortunately, I believe it's been smoked.
It's been smoked. There's been too many one last cigarettes.
Since that fateful eve, it has
Since
been
that fateful
smoked.
eve, it has been smoked.
Yeah, they're onto the pods now.
Yeah,
It's 2021, you know.
yeah. It's all electronic
I mean,
these days.
that will probably get edited out because I shouldn't promote people smoking cigarettes, but
Don't smoke cigarettes, kids.
don't
It's
smoke
bad
cigarettes,
for you.
It's bad.
Leave that one. Don't do it.
Don't
All
do
right.
it.
Well, best of luck. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you guys here in a couple hours.
All right. Thanks, man.